Hello, it's Tuesday night, 8:30, still a lot earlier than I managed to make it last night. Thank you for joining me. My name's Anna Battle from Shiny Happy Art and the Paint Along of the Month Club, and this is Shark Card, hashtag Shark Card number 45. So the countdown is on. This is officially the 10th last card for this challenge. So if we were doing, I was thinking if we're doing a countdown, this would be like the 10. And tomorrow will be the 9 and the countdown will continue. But tonight I'm going to paint on the 7 of diamonds. Diamonds, of course, are landscapes. And I've said it already and I'll say it again. The landscapes I have probably enjoyed the most in this challenge. I'm really happy with all of them, but the landscapes have been most interesting, I suppose. I've got that's a bird from the other night stuck in there, but I've really enjoyed all of these lovely landscapes. Hi Janelle, and I thank you for showing up, Janelle, because we're going to do one of Janelle's photographs. So I'll show you which one that is in a minute. And Michelle, yes, stay awake tonight. I will try and change the modulation of my voice so that I don't put you to sleep. Hi Wendy as well, and Kayleen. You regulars are awesome. So thank you very much for accompanying me through this lovely project. If you are brand new here, please do say hi and where you're from, because we'd love to share. Okay, but tonight, yes, 7 of diamonds, all sanded and ready to go. And this is the photograph. So hopefully Janelle can tell us where that photo has been taken. And it's great that she's here tonight because that's exactly what she can do. But what is interesting me about this particular scene is that it isn't blue sky, green trees. It is mainly greens and browns, and the sky is actually white. So I wanted to do something a little different to the other things that I have already been painting, and I just want that variety. I want the variety because it challenges me as much as it makes the actual deck more interesting. And with any challenge like this, I mean, the idea is that it's a challenge. It shouldn't be a walk in the park. It shouldn't be something that you've done before and know you can achieve. It needs to push you just a little bit. I personally don't like being pushed over the edge, but in terms of art, I like to keep it interesting for myself, okay? And for those of you who are worried about it ending, nothing ever really ends. I've got so many ideas in my head. There will be something else going forward, don't you worry. Okay, so let's not think about the end. Just enjoy the countdown. And I am so looking forward to the end, to the finale of the project. Let's call it the end. Let's call it the finale, where I get to sort of step through all of the cards that we've done. And some of you have painted along with me, which has been awesome. So thank you for enjoying all these demonstrations. Okay, so yes, remember, please do say hi. I will check the messages as we go. I do miss some, but I always read them at the end. So if you say hi and if I miss you, know that I will be reading them once this actual live show has finished. Okay, so Janelle's telling us it's Buderim Forest Park over the Sunshine Coast. A beautiful little walk to a waterfall. So that is couple of hours away from me here. I'm inland on the Great Dividing Range, and Buderim is near. Yeah, well, it's up in the hinterland on the Sunshine Coast. Okay, Wendy says she's buying them to do herself. That's fantastic. G'day, Jeanette. Yes, the whole collection is there online with all the reference photos and everything. And you can fast forward through all my chatting at the beginning if you want to, and you can pause it. And it's really terrific to have it all there as a collection, which was the idea of it. Okay, and Anne's here too, 2 nights in a row. Bargain. All right. So my card is ready. I have my paints on the palette. This is a study in greens. So and I thought I should wear my green jumper. I have just been to Zumba tonight, so I put on some lipstick for you, but no earrings, no rings. It's been a big night, and I will have a shower after this because it was a really great workout. So thank you to Cass and the Toowoomba Zumba squad, because it was a terrific night. I had a really, really great time. Maybe I am actually getting a little bit better at it. Not very good yet, but there's hope. Okay, enough about that. I do it because I like feeling like a learner, which is what a lot of people do feel like when it comes to art. Hi, Sarah. So I I have put lipstick on, Anne. I haven't totally shown up in my natural state. I figured I'll make a bit of an effort for you all. Okay, so there's number 7. I hope you can see what's going on here. I hope you can see this on my phone. But there's a bridge and there's like some darks here. What I'm looking at is squinting and seeing the darks and the lights. So that's really what's of interest to me. And as I've said often, I'm aiming to start with the darks because I'm painting with acrylics, and that is generally the way with acrylics. Now, the other thing I'm going to do tonight is something that I have done with a couple of the others of them, is that I'm going to turn it upside down. And that's because I will look at this bridge as a bridge otherwise, and I'll look at this waterfall as water otherwise. Now, if I turn it upside down, and this is a drawing from the right side of the brain technique, I suppose. And it's great for if you're learning. But now I can just see the shapes, and that's what's of interest to me. So the proportions are slightly different. Not worried about that. I'm going to just stretch it to make it fit. Okay, so looking at it, what I've got here on my palette are... Jane's here too, that's great. This is actually Jenkins green, okay, but that's the only green on the palette. I've got the 2 blues, Phthalo and Ultramarine. I've got my 2 reds, how can I forget? Parole and Quin Magenta. I've got my 2 yellows, yellow and yellow oxides. This is Hansa yellow. I've also got a brown and a black ready to go. This is always the way I lay out my palette for exercises like this, so I know where everything is. But this is the only green out of a tube as such. All right, so looking at the darks first, I am going to pick up some black because those darks are really black. I'm going to put a bit of purple in with it though, so this magenta and phthalo blue and black to make that really dark. And I'm looking at approximately where those darks are. Excuse me, that is just a dry cough. There's moisture in the air, but I tell you, I've just been so thirsty today. I have drunk a lot of water. I have another job, excuse me, in marketing at the local pool, which is lovely. There's some really nice people who work there, so I enjoy it a lot. But and I'm lucky enough to work in air conditioning most of the day. It was quite warm today though, and I think it just dried me out. Okay, so I'm just putting in an idea of where that bridge is and bringing in some more darks up here. But the idea is to squint and just see it as the jigsaw of shapes that it is. Okay, washing and drying my brush. Now, this browny colour here, which to me can look like a rock, it doesn't look like water anymore, which is the whole idea of not confusing myself, but that's a pretty good colour. So this is the burnt sienna plus the yellow oxide, and that's pretty close actually. I'm just convincing my mind that it is just a shape and giving less meaning to it. I'm not letting my brain take over and tell me what it is, because that's when you can accidentally slip into the mode of thinking or stopping seeing and letting your brain take over. By this approach, I can make sure anyone who's had a baby knows what this colour is, my goodness. But yes, by this approach I can make sure that I'm seeing what I'm really seeing rather than what I think I'm seeing. Okay, even though I usually go dark to light, I'm just going to fill in that corner there and work my way down the page a bit, because there is a lot of green going on, and this is this creamy colour. I will come back with a smaller brush and touch up some details. At the moment I'm just using my number 10 flat brush, which is it's been my favourite brush for this project, that's for sure. It seems to suit this size of card or this size of artwork. Hi Danica, great to have you here. Now I'm looking at the general colour green here. So there are details in there, there's actually little fronds and everything. I'm not going to be able to reproduce that with this particular brush, so I'm just squinting to see the approximate colours, and I don't want to ever use green straight out of the tube. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow with that as well, and just start dotting it on. That's a bit too dark. If you're squinting, you can see that it is. Into there, up and across, into the darks. I want that darker there though. And some darker marks down in here, using the edge of my flat brush. You don't have to look at a flat brush and think it can only make fat lines. Up into here, it's getting more yellow and light the higher I get. Now, I will compare this to another green. Hi, Josie. Thanks for joining us, or catching me. All right, so this is yellow plus ultramarine blue, which makes a lovely sappy natural green. So I'm going to pop that in there. It's very similar. Can you see? It's very similar to the Jenkins green. And when I say Jenkins green, it was just a green made for Mr. Jenkins, really. I'm still kind of trying to keep them darker because I will come back and put lighter colours on there. Now, this is something that I've actually done with my Paint Along with the Month Club members just this month, because we did a landscape and we layered the tones of the trees. So it's a road, it's called The Road Home if you are on my website, or you scroll back. Actually, it's on my Facebook page at the moment. It is my cover photo. But yes, I show them how to sort of take it in stages and break down quite a deep or detailed multi-layered design. Hi, Mariana. And change it into, we'll produce the layers that are needed. So, and I've said a lot of this before, if I really believe a lot of beginner painters just stop too soon. I know I did. And I think my mum pointed it out to me a few times. I would be preparing something and she's like, are you sure you're finished? And I'd swear black and blue sometimes that I was, but now that I look back, she was right. Hope you're listening, Mum. And yes, often I just hadn't pushed through. And now when I see some artworks in sort of group exhibitions and the like, I do think, oh, I wish they'd just gone a little further with that. And that's my personal opinion. That's all. But yeah, it does enter my mind, let's put it that way. So I know I need to come back and add some more texture. Okay, so happy with the way that's going though. So I'm going to change to a smaller brush now. I think I'd like to actually go thinner. And I was looking for this last night. So this is my number 6 round brush, which is what I use in the Paint Along with the Month Club. I need a holiday to just paint. Look, that's true, Josie. Or you just fit it in a daily project like this and do it nice and small. So you can paint small when you're not on holidays and big when you are. If I can encourage you just to start with a small sketchbook or index cards or something like that, it's a great way to start. So now I'm actually putting in some of these vines and things. So this is quite a skinny brush. I've mentioned before too, this is a Royal and Langnickel. I think there was about 20 brushes in this set. It wasn't very expensive, but different brands have different size sort of numbers on them. There's not a consistency of the brush descriptions. Obviously there's different types of brushes, that's pretty consistent, but it's not sort of cut and dried when it comes to brush descriptions. Which is fine, gives you an excuse to try a few new ones. Okay, so I need to bring some of that dark back in there and thin down. So now that I've got my smaller brush, I can do exactly that. And still, I don't need it to be spot on, I just need it to be inspired by. Okay, just thinning that down a touch, bringing in some brown. So once again, I'm sort of looking at the darks, thickening up some of these, knowing that I still want to see that number 7 through. So I can't go too dark. And there's the diamond, I don't want to lose the whole diamond. And bringing in some of this dark, breaking up some of these thicker clumps of green, coming in here, breaking it up, I'm developing a texture now. So I'm really dancing with the brush, pouncing it up and down. Browns and blacks here, breaking that up a bit, dark green up here, Really breaking it up. So I do want the texture to be here because this is fairly flat. I will put the shine on soon, and this is flat, but this all this greenery is heavily textured. So that's what I want to give the impression of now. And I don't really like the spongy look. I want it to look fairly random, but I will work from the darks to the lights. Just looking at this bridge too, so I can't see the whole thing here. The bottom of the bridge is a bit thicker. Now this is reminding me of a painting that's in my book, and I know Jane Roper is here, she'll remember it. Many years ago I did Monet's Bridge as a live paint-along, a face-to-face paint-along, and it was pretty full-on. Teaching Impressionism in a paint and sip class or a paint-along is more like a therapy class than I think than anything else, because Impressionist paintings are meant to be viewed from a distance. I'm going to turn this on the side to do these lines of the railings of the bridge. Hi Alana. So yes, I did this as a class, and of course mine at the front of the room looked pretty good because people were viewing it from a distance and comparing it to theirs, which was right in front of their faces. And you know, Impressionist paintings just don't look that good a lot of the time, close up. But the bridge I broke down into achievable steps and delivered it that way. I think I've got a bit too much water there. This little cloud of whatever's going on there, so I'll pick that back up again. So just giving my impression of it. But it is good to not see it as a bridge, to see it as a pattern, or to see it as anything other than what it actually is. See it as a railway. See it as a frill at the bottom of a dress. See it as anything that means you're actually seeing it, rather than presuming you know what it is. Hello, Alana. Okay, so still dotting on some more colour here. And this is when I know I don't need to get too carried away. Now I'm going to bring some yellow in here. And I have yet to bring the white in, okay? But I'm pouncing up and down. This yellow can be very translucent. It's a very transparent colour. So I know I'm getting different colours with it as I'm putting it on. This is a really small brush though, so I'm happy with that. See, I'm constantly loading up my brush as well. There's this little sort of suggestion of what's going on behind here. It's not flat white. There is interesting texture. Now in here I have some more verticals, so the more I look at it, the more I'm noticing, which is always the way. Breaking up, so there's different textures here. A few years ago I painted a painting that was used in the launch of the Carnival of Flowers. So it was a painting of Queen's Park before all the plants were in bloom. It marked the day that they started the planting actually. So I drew this, I painted a canvas. I might attach that actually in the collection. But it was the first time, even though I'd painted Queen's Park and parts of Queen's Park many times, it was the first time I really looked at the textures of the trees. And there are so many textures in the trees at Queen's Park. And they would have been planted and thought about so long ago, but it made me really aware of the talent and the expertise of the landscape architects and the gardeners. So it was wonderful to appreciate their work. And, you know, I did it because I was painting it. That helped me appreciate it for what it is. I'm putting in some tiny little fronds here with the tip of this brush. Tiny, tiny fronds and details in there, breaking up some of that darkness. I've already got the tree, or the trunks and the vines or whatever it is going on there. Now I'm looking at, so I've worked my excuse me, worked my way down the page. Now I'm working my way back up. So bringing in some white now. Re-establishing that little waterfall. That black was still wet. There's highlights on the rocks here where it's wet and catching the sunlight. Working my way across. There's a line there. Down to there. This is lighter. Once again, I've stretched it. It's not the same proportions. And here's the shine on the water as well. Just trying to keep it a little more subtle. It's not as bright white as the highlights on the wet rocks next to it. Knowing I still have to put that 7 in. There is a bit of bright white up here. The reflections on the water. And here's the edge, which is whiter as well. It's a solid edge, it's a hard edge, not a soft edge. And that shape's not quite right, but it'll do. So the fact that it's a hard edge, not a blurry edge, is important. Wendy's saying she's been to the Carnival of Flowers twice. Look, I love the Carnival of Flowers. I really do. Now, of course, this year it's in September usually, and people are doing their gardens, which is great, but most of the events have been cancelled, of course, which is terribly sad. If you are a local, I will be doing something fun with the team out at Rosalie House during the Carnival of Flowers. So Rosalie House is a local vineyard and cellar door, and I have just done another wine bottle label for them, and it will be launched on that second or third weekend of spring, whenever we usually have Carnival of Flowers. I think it's around the 17th of September. So now I'm just adding some highlights back into, what is that doing there? That's ridiculous. Let's just pop that back in there, shall we? Don't know what's going on. But I'm adding just some white highlights, tiny, tiny, tiny bits, so that I have not got much paint on my brush here. Otherwise I'll leave a big blob, and I don't want that to happen. There we go. Just filling it in there and lightening up some of this as well. So if you are in the area, I think I'll probably be painting live. I'm thinking that makes sense. But the actual wine label is abstract. So it's a beautiful gift label. I'm looking forward to trying the wine. And it's been made with the grapes from Rosalie. Sometimes they're blended because you can have good years and bad years, and we've had all those years of drought. But this time, they are actually locally grown grapes, and it's very exciting for that lovely family. So yes, that's all. If you're watching this in the future and you've missed it, maybe you can look back and there'll be photos. But if you're watching this live, that's something to keep an eye out for coming up. Okay, I think I'm getting a bit fussy here now. So I'm going to do the numbers, and love this little pop of red. So I'm picking up some Parole red and attempting to find, I can hardly see it, I've just gotten carried away and totally forgotten that I needed to still see this thing. Making it up now. 7 of diamonds. There's a bit of water on my brush that's really flowed there. And here's I like this bit when you turn it around. Yeah, that looks okay. It's a lovely surprise. So this upside down business, you get to surprise yourself, which is a bonus. There's the 7. There's the diamond. And usually I'd be putting some red in amongst the trees here, but can you see I've got a tiny bit of red still peeking through from the card, from the diamonds that were on the card, because there were so many of them. So I'm pretty happy with the way that's happening, and there's a bit of red showing through here too. So I'm not actually needing to go back in and add any more red than what's already there. Might need to try this wine. Absolutely, we all need to try the wine. Oh, Linda's popped it in, 18th till the 20th of September. So yes, as it gets closer, I will share the times that I'll be there, but they haven't. I'll leave that to the last minute because, I'll leave it a bit longer. Maybe not the last minute, hey? Linda will have me organised. Anyway, there we go. So just adding some of those darks back there, which it does need that extra bit of detail, I think. There's something under the water there that I'm noticing. There's a few marks also on whatever this is here, a rock or something. That's slightly different shape, but I'm okay with that. And a bit more black in under here now to make those fronds stand out a bit. But I am pretty happy with that. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this and you'd like to be stepped through a guided version, please do go online, follow or go back in my Facebook page or whatever and find The Road Home. It's a lovely recipe for approaching a landscape step by step. So that's there. And also if you've enjoyed this, of course, buy the collection while it's on special. That would be great. And I really recommend that you do, but that's pretty cool. Very happy with that. I'll put this back on my face now. Missed the start. Oh, so yes, I have confused you a little bit there, Josie. But yes, the upside down technique, if it's a subject that you think you could get confused by, there we go, Zumba face. Yes, if you think you could, like there's a lot going on in this subject and a lot of the colours are the same. So putting it upside down made me see the shapes and see the tones more than the actual subject. And look, I could do it either way. I encourage you to paint the same or sketch the same subject. It could be drawing, turn it upside down, but do it both ways and see which one you get a better result from, and then you can understand why I've done it that way. I have a beautiful set of friends now who were in my art class years ago, and a lot of them would basically really refuse and not feel comfortable with turning it upside down. It works for me every time. It may not work for everybody all the same way that it does for me, but please do give it a go and you just might surprise yourself. But it is lovely at the end when you turn it around. And when you do turn it around, don't think that it's totally finished. You could still go in and keep adding a few extra details, okay? So it's a lovely surprise. It gets you started, but I would always finish it off right way up. Okay, but there we go. That's fun. I'm happy with that one. Thank you so much for sending in the photo, Janelle. I really appreciate it. And as I said, I will load this up into the collection on Podia. And this was Shark Card 45. 9 more to go after this, which is, 2 more, I think. 2 more landscapes, 2 more cups. 2 more of every suit. And then the last Joker. And we'll have our 54. So we must be getting closer to finding out our prices. I've still got a bit of work to do on that, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a link and we might arrange to get them printed and you can all have your own set. How I'm actually picturing these is that, thanks Kayleen, they could actually be displayed in a group of 4 or 1, like as little individual artworks. You could just pick your favourites out of them and stick them on the wall, or of course play cards with them. There's a few options, but hey, happy with that tonight. So click through and have a look. You don't have to buy it, just click through and have a look, and you'll see a lot more about what's available there. I think I've actually got a few of them live so that you can see, if you haven't seen some of the old ones, they're all available there. But that was fun. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and thank you to everybody who left a comment. If you are watching this on the replay, please do let me know that you are here. I just love connecting with so many people from all around the world with this particular project, and I'm a bit chuffed with this one actually. I think I need a little bit more red paint on that top 7, but happy, happy, happy. Okay, have a great Tuesday night. I had to remember what day it was too. Have a great Tuesday night. I have a big day planned again tomorrow, and an announcement for real time, so keep an eye out if you're on my email list. I have something coming up Wednesday week that I need to tell you about, so I'll send an email out about that. All right, that's enough from me. Have a great night, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.